Welcome to Jets Game Day presented by Audi. Here's your host, Eric Allen.
Welcome to Jets Game Day. Eric Allen alongside Bart Scott and the bearded man, Nick Mangold. Bart, the Jets return home this weekend to face the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts have lost 3 consecutive games.
Yeah, they lost 3 consecutive games, but they've been extremely competitive in all those games. Joe Flacco has had times where he's played very well, thrown the ball well, but he's also had to turn the ball over. So I would prefer Richardson, because, you want him out there playing. He doesn't do a good job in reading. They're a team that's going to come in with desperation. The Jets have to match their energy.
Nick, the message from interim head coach Jeff Ulbrich this week has been keep fighting after a disappointing performance there last week in the desert against the Cardinals.
Right, and I think that's the message that needs to be sent right now is that, listen, we are in playoff mode. Right? From now on till the end of the season, you got to keep winning. And that's all you can focus on. And to do that and focus on winning each day, every day, that's the focus. You can't worry about the next day. You have to win this day.
Well, let's win in the film room right now. We are presented by Moody's. Breece Hall last week against the Cardinals averaged 5.2 yards a carry on his 10 attempts.
Yes, and let's dive in there because I think what we see here when we're looking at Breece Hall, it's not just Breece Hall, it's also the offensive line and it's the wide receivers. So right here we have a little mid-zone action going this way. We're going to do a little pin pull here as well to get everyone out on the edge. And what I really love about this is Devontae Adams comes up here and blocks the corner, which really allows the big plays. When you have wide receivers blocking on the outside in the second level, that is what opens things up and gets you those big runs, and we love to see it.
The Jets sustained drives against the Cardinals 4 times getting inside Arizona's 30-yard line. Unfortunately, only coming up with a pair of field goals. But on this play, I really like what Aaron Rodgers did with his feet, and he was patient.
He was, and so sometimes things don't always work out exactly how we want them to, all right? And we're gonna go to the back end of this one just to check this out. So this is a simple little mid-zone action here, right? Jeremy's coming back here to cut off this backside end, and everybody else is going this way to seal off the protection, allow Aaron to get over, move the pocket, and use his feet. We get out there, everyone's covered. Now all of a sudden, we're in scramble mode. And so now it's trying to get open for your guys and doing what you can. So right here, as we go back to the other side of this one, Jeremy's coming over here, right? He's blocking. Now we get into scramble mode. And all of a sudden, Jeremy takes the opportunity right here, realizing that we're in trouble, and finds this open space right here.
That's what happens. Sometimes plays don't go according to plan. We see it all the time when tight ends miss their block. They turn around and make themselves available to their quarterback. Aaron Rodgers buying time with his feet, getting outside the pocket. Now, you don't advise quarterbacks to throw across their body, but when you're Aaron Rodgers, you've done it for a long time. You knew it was safe, and you completed the ball and got a positive play out of something that should have been negative.
Let's flip it right now to the Colts offense. We know the Jets are going to be facing a steady dose of Jonathan Taylor.
This is a simple guard lead on the outside here. So our guard's coming out here. We're going this way, off to the right, and he's just too fast. Like, you take the bad angles, there's nothing you can do. That safety came down, took a terrible angle. Next thing you know, 52-yard run.
Remember that this is a collegiate track star. And you talk about that guy pulling there is Quentin Nelson, one of the best guards, if not the best guard in all of football. And if you're not disciplined and being thick on those blocks and not running around blocks, you're going to pay the cost. Because what happened is the Jets have really been struggling against 12 personnel because it allows you to get double teams on everybody, and you have to try and make sure that you win the point of attack. And when you're on a defensive line, sometimes it's not glorious work. You know what I mean? It's not about you making a tackle. You got to make sure that you take 2 for 2 or a man and a half so that you can get the math right, because that's why they pull the guard, because they want to change the math.
A great lesson in math from Bart Scott. Coming up, we're going to put Jets center Joe Tippmann under our spotlight.
Brought to you by Moody's, proud partner of the New York Jets. Welcome back to Jets Game Day presented by Audi. All right, Joe, leading up to this game, a lot of people thought it was going to be kind of the battle of the 40-year-old quarterbacks. But it's different because Anthony Richardson is going to be playing for the Colts. He's getting the ball snapped to him by your former collegiate teammate from Wisconsin. But for you, getting to play with Aaron Rodgers. How much has playing with him and someone who has so much experience and has seen almost every situation there is in football helped you kind of grow in your second year?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. You know, just having him around, even before, I say this all the time, even when he came back, you know, he was always trying to help me, trying to kind of just elevate my game. Little things, you know, from kind of X's and O's to even like coaching me on like, you know, you should step with this foot first. So like just being able to have someone who's so as seasoned as him, you know, it takes a lot of stress off my plate on the field so that I feel like I can go out there and kind of just execute, you know, at a higher level just because having him back there. So it's awesome.
Obviously, you didn't get to play with him to the level that you are playing with him this year as last year, but last year you kind of came in halfway through the season. This is your first season as a full-time starter. How do you feel like that adjustment has been for you?
It's been good. You know, like last year it was all weird. You know, I jumped in, I think the third game I jumped in at guard, and then, you know, played guard for 3 or 4 weeks before taking over the center job when Gov went down. But, you know, that transition, it's been really good. You know, just being able to kind of, you know, all off season, I was able to just lock in on the one thing, and to be able to come in here during camp and just go out and play.
What do you think when you watch tape of yourself from this year compared to your rookie season? Do you like to see from yourself on tape that's maybe changed or you've really grown one specific aspect of your game?
I'd say my confidence. You know, that's something that I've always kind of focused on, and it's something I kind of, you know, hold up like really high in my game, because, you know, the more confident I am, the more, you know, the faster I can play. Just being able to see that confidence on the film, you know, it's been something that has really helped me to kind of play faster, play more confident, and kind of take on a more leadership role on the O-line. Even though, you know, I got John, ABT, Tyron, and Morgan, you know, guys who've been in the league for a really long time, you know, I feel like I've been able to take that step to where, you know, I can walk up to the O-line and kind of take over on commanding and being able to just kind of direct traffic out there, and that's something I really take pride in at center.
Now, last year at the end of your rookie season, you said that one thing that you were looking forward to in the off season was building your strength back and really working on that, because when you were planning for the pre-draft process, you were focusing on speed and other aspects of your game. Where have you seen that strength improve in your game and really benefit you on the field?
Yeah, definitely, like in the run game especially, just being able to kind of, you know, move people off the spot, and that's something that, you know, it was what kind of the work that I put in the off season, you know, just with trying to get my strength back. So it's something that really, I believe, was able to help my game and kind of back to the confidence thing, just give me more confidence going into the season.
Now, this matchup against the Colts, it's the last game before the bye week. What has the messaging been in through team meetings, throughout just the building in general, before you guys kind of get a break and get to collect yourselves?
Yeah, I'd say one of the big messages has been finish. You know, on the offensive side of the ball, you know, we took the ball down there, you know, I think to the red zone 3 times, and, you know, we didn't score any touchdowns. Collectively as a team, you know, we just got to be able to finish games, especially, you know, go get this one done, and then, you know, we can take a couple days off, get our bodies back to right, but you know, we can't be overlooking this game we got in front of us. You know, we have to attack this game just as we would any other game, and you know, plan on finishing.
Awesome, appreciate the time, Joe.
Thank you.
This exclusive interview was presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
All right, let's get into the matchup right now with Bart and Nick. I thought Quincy Williams' sack of Kyler Murray in Arizona was the NFL hit of the year.
Yeah, so far it's definitely the hit of the year. But I tell you what, coming off the edge, finishing it, tackling his arms, you know, he was super excited. But one thing he has to realize, that ball was loose. That ball was loose, and Kyler Murray grabbed the ball without his helmet on. But what a tremendous hit.
All right, so here we go. This is Quincy Williams coming off the edge here, right? And this is where the big sack happens. And what Bart's talking about here is we actually have 2 coming off the edge.
Corner blitz.
DJ Reed coming again.
Right? But unfortunately, that leaves this man open here. So we'll go through this, watch it. Luckily, the fast physical play of Quincy Williams makes this possible that Kyler Murray doesn't get a chance to see it. That is a big hit.
And that's something that Murray was not expecting.
Well, not at all. I tell you what, but the teachable tape is also, Generally when you have two guys come off the edge, if the guy that's in there blocking releases, the widest guy is responsible for the guy that chips out. Because you're assuming that when you bring two off the edge, that the running back's going to stay in the block. Some teams free release their running backs to try and make you pay the price. That's just another example when you play fast that it can cover up a lot of mistakes.
Pound for pound, the biggest hitter in the National Football League, Quincy Williams. Let's flip it to the other side of the ball. Kenny Moore has questioned the Colts' effort, but we cannot question Kenny Moore's effort, especially on this play.
Yeah, you talk about leading by example and reading your keys and kind of understanding where you can be hurt at. What you're going to see is a concept that we rarely see. We used to do this sometimes with me and Revis on the backside when we have zone front side and we have man-to-man on the backside. So I want you to pay attention to the formation. Safety the down cornerback is going to be on the down tight end. So we have man-to-man there, and then we have the linebacker on the running back. And what's going to happen on the front side, now you think you have man-to-man, and what happens is now you have a trap concept where you have the outside guy playing from 2 to 1. Once he sees number 1 sit down, he's going to run to that immediately and allow the other guys to sit in and play zone. Tremendous play by Kenny Moore here, playing fast, seeing the sit down route and making a play on the ball. That's the impressive part, that he played with great hands and anticipation and belief in his eyes.
That's what this Colts defense thrives off of, takeaways. But with that being said, Aaron Rodgers protects the football.
He does. He's going to need to, and he's going to need to use his feet too, I think. And I think he's got to be moving around. We're going to have great protection, and it's going to be a wholesale group effort to win this day.
Coming up, we're going to go inside the Jets locker room to see what the green and white are saying about their matchup against the Colts.
For the second straight week, the Jets defense will face a dual-threat quarterback. After starting Joe Flacco for the last 2 games, Colts head coach Shane Steichen announced Anthony Richardson, the number 4 overall pick from 2023, will start again for the remainder of the season.
From a player standpoint, like you said, Anthony Richardson, he's a big quarterback. He's very mobile as well, so we're going to have to actually put our body on him, making sure he gets down. And Jonathan Taylor, he's a great back as well. So, again, it's taking that extra step, great tracking to the back, and making sure we get him down.
The 6'5", 245-pound Richardson is 3-3 as a starter this season and has thrown for 958 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions through 6 games this season. His 44.4 completion percentage and 57.2 passer rating are a league low among quarterbacks who have taken at least 100 pass attempts. On the ground, Richardson has 242 yards and 1 touchdown this season. After missing 20 tackles and allowing 147 rushing yards against the Cardinals last week, interim head coach Jeff Ulbrich made tackling an emphasis in practice for the Jets this week.
We're going to drill if there's 15 minutes of endo, it's going to be 14 and a half minutes of tackling, and we're going to get back to fundamentals and basics. I did a tackling presentation for the team today, not just the defense, so everybody knows exactly what we're doing, how we're attacking it, how we're going to get it fixed. It's hard, and we try our best, and where we give our guys opportunities to simulate as close as we can to full speed tackling, but at the same time, there's a safety element that's real, and when you start going to the ground, especially in practice, that can become a problem because you're going to lose a lot of people, both the people getting tackled and the people doing the tackling. So it is finding a balance, and we got to continue to try to find the best balance of that.
Let's get into our great debate presented by HCL Tech. Gentlemen, is the onus more on the defense or the offense in order for the Jets to get their second consecutive home win, this time against the Colts?
For me, I'm always going to start with defense, right? I think they set the tone. They're able to flip the field. They haven't been able to get a lot of interceptions so far this year or turnovers. They have to be able to do that, put their offense on a short field. And we know what the mission is, right? And until you fix it and put it on film that you can stop the run, you're going to continue to get a dose. And the task is going to be tough because Jonathan Taylor this year, after having a holdout and having an injury-riddled season, has come back. Remember, this is a guy a couple years ago that was flirting with 2,000 yards. He's an explosive physical back, and you're going to have to step on those train tracks and be physical at the point of attack because this is a formidable offensive line that's going to test the Jets. But let's see if they're up for the challenge.
All right, what are you saying?
Great point. No, it's got to be on the offense. The offense has to start fast, get out on top, get a lead, make the Colts one-dimensional.
All right, so no surprise here. You go defense, you go offense. How imperative is it for the Jets now playing at home, though, to really get off to a good start? Because defensively, then That's their strength, getting after the quarterback.
And that was the issue last week in Arizona. They came out and gave up, the score. So then it puts pressure on the offense to feel like they have to chase points instead of staying disciplined and running the football. I think it's important, right? Because you have to play collectively as a group, as a unit, as a team. You have to play complementary football, and the Jets haven't done that. But it's also important to get off to a fast start because you want to win the crowd. You don't want the crowd out of it. You want the crowd in a frenzy, excited. You ought to give them something to cheer for, though, because, in New York, they'll let you know if they disapprove.
For the offense, a lot of things to be encouraged about. Garrett Wilson is having a breakout season. You got Breece Hall is getting it done on the ground. I'm encouraged by the pressure rates along that offensive line up front, but they got to finish.
They do. They have to finish, but to finish, you have to start fast. And I think that's the biggest thing that we're looking at is that, we got to get on top. We got to be able to let our defense really pin their ears back. And we want to play the game that we want to play. We don't have to play catch up. So I think for them, it's coming out right out of the gate, getting points on the board and running the offense that we want to run.
Don't go anywhere because we're going to be right back with our game day predictions.
This was presented by
The official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech, supercharging progress. Get 100% verified tickets to every upcoming game at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Jets and the NFL. Welcome back to Jets Game Day. I'm Caroline Hendershot. This is Ethan Greenberg, and we're going to get into some game day predictions presented by the New York Lottery. Are you ready, Ethan?
Bring it on, Caroline.
All right, you're up first. Garrett Wilson will have 5 or more receptions for the 9th consecutive game.
I'm going to say this is going to happen because even when the Jets struggled last week against the Cardinals on offense, Garrett Wilson had 5 catches, and I really hope this isn't the reverse jinx here.
Right.
I'm hoping that Garrett Wilson gets this. But for you, Caroline, Jamien Sherwood has 93 tackles so far this season. He will reach the 100 tackle mark by the end of the 3rd quarter.
That's only 7 tackles for him. I feel like that's easy for him. Between tackles being the focus in practice this week, plus him being tied for 4th in the league with tackles right now, I think it's inevitable. I personally think it's going to happen before halftime.
Okay.
But that's just me. Okay, Aaron Rodgers will pass Dan Marino for 8th place in all-time yardage on a pass to...
Okay, so I would say Alan Lazard if he were healthy because history shows this season he caught the first touchdown pass from Aaron Rodgers as a Jet. He caught the first touchdown pass from Aaron Rodgers as a Jet at MetLife Stadium. He's not healthy, on injured reserve. So I'm going to go with Tyler Conklin because, first of all, I think that we've seen that connection at times, and I think that this weekend that could be a little bit in focus as well. Caroline, for you, Anthony Richardson, named starter earlier this week for the Colts. Again, he'll have more than 50 yards rushing.
Okay, this was hard for me. I'm going to say no because in the games that he has played in, he's only averaged 40. I think the defense is going to be on one this week, particularly, again, because of the tackling. He just sat the last 2 games. I think because Joe Flacco was more pass-heavy than Anthony Richardson, I think maybe he'll going to try to lean into the pass a little bit more. So, I don't know. I'm going to go no, but I'm a little nervous about that. Okay, the Jets will have 1 or more interceptions.
So I know the saying is innocent until proven guilty, but the NFL is a what have you done for me lately league. And so I'm going to say no on this one because for the Jets, in terms of takeaways right now and interceptions, it's guilty until proven innocent. And yes, this is a good matchup for the Jets defense. Anthony Richardson's completing a league low 44.4% of his passes among quarterbacks who have taken at least 100 pass attempts, but they just haven't had, the Jets defense hasn't had a lot of interceptions. Only 2 on the year, both belong to Brandon Echols. And so I think the Jets are due. So maybe this is a little bit of reverse psychology, but I'm going to say no.
Okay, well, hopefully it is reverse psychology. That's it from us, but we're going to send it back to you, EA.
Thanks, Caroline. The Jets really want to get one before the bye here, Nick. 3-7, and then they can have a chance to take a deep collective breath and then finish the season off.
Right, and I think, again, it goes back to what we're saying all show here is that they have to win each day. And this is the next day that they have to win, so they got to go out there and do it.
Here's a stat for you. The Jets can go to 3-0 this season against the AFC South.
Well, let's just schedule them every damn week then.
Outstanding job, guys. In fact, I'm going to give you next week off. A bye coming up for these guys, but let's see if the Jets can go into their bye on a winning note. Enjoy your football weekend.